And
Hmm.
this can tie into like this can tie into religion, this can tie into like racism, this can tie into a lot of different political issues. I mean, people move at different times. I mean, so I'm not saying that it's too late just because you're 30. It's too late to travel or to move somewhere. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you have to be 18. You can be whatever age, but there has to be. I'm saying there has to be a time in life where you're open to moving somewhere else to be able to grow and do it as a sense of personal development
Right.
because it's very
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, this applies more to like people that have the desire to want more, I guess.
I
Because,
mean, I look at it in the sense of life, man. I look at it in the sense of life because even when it comes to people are only people the way people think is only what they understand,
hmm
but if they're not exposed to the things they don't understand, they will never be able to fathom what someone else is thinking. Okay. And
hmm
this can tie into like this can tie into religion, this can tie into like racism, this can tie into a lot of different political issues.
hmm
Okay. But until you step out of that box to see what it's like on the other side, you would never have that alternative perspective. You can't get that perspective from TV. You can't.
Yeah.
So I think I mean, whether you are looking for more or not, like I just think that's an important quality. I mean, of course, everybody is not, they're not going to get that opportunity, but it's something that I feel that everyone at least should try at least once.
hmm
I mean, that's a huge thing for me. I truly believe that.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more.
Hmm. Hmm.
That makes a lot of sense. Because yeah, I think it kind of relates back to like the earlier conversation where I don't know if I mentioned it, but like a lot of people kind of live in a bubble because as human beings, you know what you only know,
Yep.
and that's the comfort zone. Growing up, what I've heard from my parents about the U.S. was always positive things about how
Hmm.
fortunate they were. Oh, you get free education, So that's one thing, and then I think middle school, high school, I started being aware of how multicultural San Francisco was. So in my head, I was like, okay, like I'm lucky to be in the U.S. and I'm fortunate to be in San Francisco to be around
Yep.
diversity, which
Hmm.
helps me understand differences. In my head, I was like, okay, damn, I'm pretty fortunate to live in this diverse place.
Hmm.
So I guess I never had an appeal for traveling because I was like, okay, like you know what, like can't
This is
get.
before. This is
I
before.
did this before. I'm talking about
Okay.
mindset before. So this is
Okay.
before traveling. So my mindset was
Hmm.
kind of like, okay, travel doesn't appeal to me because, damn, like there's no better place than San Francisco. You know what
Hmm.
I mean?
Hmm.
But until I started like traveling internationally for the first
Hmm.
time, because I've traveled domestically before, like Vegas, LA, Hawaii,
Yeah. 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 Sure.
um, but never international. So like I don't think the domestic trips necessarily made an impact because it was
Hmm.
still somewhat familiar but different. But it wasn't
Hmm.
enough shock. But the first time I traveled to like Asia, I think that was when I had a culture shock where it's
Yeah. If people really want to get an experience,
mm-hmm,
travel abroad, right, and see how other cultures are living, rather
mm-hmm,
than just nationwide. Because at the end of the day, America is all the same shit. Honestly, I'm not gonna it's all the same shit. Like no matter if you're in Texas or Ohio or California, it's all the same shit. Like we're all is a lot of Americans, typically Americans think the same way. Like same food and maybe a little bit more pricier or whatever, but realistically, like you're not gonna experience a whole different culture by going to another state. You have to physically go to another country to experience that. But and I highly suggest it. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.